Shirley. Bem-vindos a todas. Estamos aqui em boa companhia. I will switch to English. So, welcome everybody. We're very happy to have this info session. It'll be very productive because we know that our international guest is in the middle of many, many things, but we're very happy to launch for the first time this partnership. And it's the first time that the Queer Lab, Queer Palm Lab, will be hosted and will take place in Brazil. So, yay, Brazil. And of course, I will not say anything more in terms of yay, Brazil, because we have a very, it's been a traumatic week for us, but so Frank is here, founder and director of the Queer Palm Lab, and also his partner in Brazil, Alice Chiappetta from Prisma Queer. They will tell us all about what will happen in Brazil with the Queer Palm Lab for the first time, and we are very happy to partner, offering a fellowship for the Brazilian participant. It's an international lab, so it's 5 participants and only one will be Brazilian. So there's only one seat for a Brazilian, and whoever gets the seat will receive a fellowship from Projeto Paradiso. But I will let Frank talk about what is Queer Palm Lab, what will happen in Brazil, and then Alice can also jump in. Thank you again, Frank. Again, I know tight schedule, but it's great you could make it because the call is up, and so it's now or never.
So I would do a brief historical. So I created the Queer Palm Award in Cannes in 2010. So it's now 16 years that the Queer Palm exists in Cannes Film Festival. And after the COVID things, etc., we had time to think about what we want to do further. And I think that the idea was to be perhaps more efficient at some point to help young directors to work on their first feature. That's why we launched the first edition of the Queer Palm Lab in 2024-25. So it's like a scholarship year from October to June, with the first residency in October. So the two last years it was in collaboration with the festival in Morelia in Mexico. So we had two sessions over there. And it's a mentorship during all year about the script, about the kind of how build a network, an international network, to know producers, to talk to professionals. And it ends with a residency in Cannes during Cannes Film Festival, and the five young directors from the Queer Palm Lab will be the Queer Palm short movie jury in Cannes, and they will have a pitching session and a lot of networking meetings. So this is the third edition and the first one in collaboration with Brazil, and in particular with the Mostra and Premio Mostra Queer. So the residency will be from the 8th to the 18th of October. So it's 10 days in October, only 2 days during the festival. So it's really before the beginning of the Mostra and during 2 days during the Mostra. After Lucas Dont for the first year and Charlotte Wells for the second year, it will be Marcelo Caetano, the director of Baby, who will be our first Brazilian mentor for the Queer Palm Lab. And we are working on the complete program for these 10 days during summer, and it will be ready for October. So now we just launched the call for entries. It will last until the 30th of July. And all projects of first feature are welcome. So it has to be a first feature. It has to be, but the shape is really free. It can be a documentary, it can be fiction feature. It's really open. Why not animation or I don't know, but it's really open on the shape. And we ask only for a treatment between 10 and 15 pages in English or French. It's our two official languages. And you can have already 3 versions of your script or only 10 pages. We can take every levels of development. So it's not a problem. I think it's really interesting to confront 5 different peoples at different levels, different levels in the advancement of the project. So it's quite free about that, and you can have a producer. You can be in a search for a producer. There's no it's really free on what we ask. If you have 10 pages to tell what is your project and a motivation letter, explain to us why you have to tell this story or to do this documentary or this movie. I think it's most important for us to know. So we have a reading committee composed with a lot of young people working in the production business in New York, in China, and Europe. So it's about 12 people. Each project is read by at minimum 3 readers from the committee. And at the end, Marcelo Caetano and myself, we will have to read the sorry, I'm so tired. The 20 best projects, and we will have to do some Zoom interviews in September to finally choose the 5 ones and the Brazilian one. Because as we are in Brazil, it was important to have a booked seat for Brazilian talent, as we did in Mexico for 2 years with Mexican talents. Perhaps Alice, you want to add something?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Alice. I'm from Prisma Queer. So I'm very happy that we are making work. Thank you so much, Projeto Paradiso, also for collabing with us and helping our Brazilian residents. So basically, this started in Cannes, right, Frank? We were talking that we wanted so much to make happen Queer Palm Lab in Brazil. I'm from Prisma Queer, that is an independent award inside Mostra de São Paulo. And also, besides all the lab and all the mentors, also Felipe and Marcio are gonna help, right? I think you can talk a little bit more about also the Zoom meetings later, Frank, all the people that they're gonna be able to talk to. But basically, we also gonna give the opening ceremony of Mostra that you guys can come and do all the networking with all the Brazilian filmmakers and talents. And also, if you are by any chance in São Paulo by the end, by the closing ceremony, we'll be also able to give you a ticket for it. And the housing, the residence is gonna be 8th of October until the 18th. But we're gonna give housing to the 7th until the 19th, so you can rest a little bit and also give foods and etc. And we also gonna give all the tickets for Mostra, so any movie that you want to watch, you're gonna be able to inside Mostra of São Paulo, which is awesome also for collaborate more inside the festival. And yeah, and basically Prisma Queer is coordinating me and Lucas Wilinski. We're so happy to make it work. And yeah, and I feel like maybe we can talk a little bit more about also the Zoom meetings that they're gonna have.
For the moment, the program of the residency is on building. We are working on it because we have to know who is available, etc. But one of the real important thing is that your script versions, as you have it at the time, will be read by several tutors. You will have one-to-one consultations. We will have group consultations because I think it's really important that talents from any countries in the world bring one to the other a fresh look about projects. And as we did for the last 2 years, it's really important to confront talents with with a high-level programmers. So we usually have a pitching session with Avakan, who is the director of programs for the Critics Week in Cannes, and which select only first and second features, and with Cedric Giuchivani, who program in Venice. So you will have the opportunity to talk with Venice and Cannes programmers and to tell them about your project. And usually they keep that in mind, even if it's for 4 or 5 years later. So this is a lot of things we are building, we are working on during summer to have this program ready for the residency in October. Thanks again to Alice and to the Prisma Queer to help us, because we're in France now, so it's really great to have this collaboration with Alice, who knows so well the network, the movie network in São Paulo. Thanks to Projeto Paradiso to help us. They already helped the Brazilian candidates last year with this trip to Mexico and to
This is a
Cannes.
great segue to Renato, who's here with us.
Oh.
Because last year we didn't have an institutional partnership but we did support the participation of Renato.
Yeah, there was no booked seat for Brazilian talent, but there were a great Brazilian talent.
Exactly. So it's even more impressive. Renato made it, and he was both in Morelia and in Cannes. So maybe he can tell us a bit more of his perspective. But I know Frank's time is counted. So people, if you have in the room, if you have questions, you can send them on the chat. You can raise your hand. And we're gonna listen to Renato a little bit, of course. But please start shooting your questions while we do so. So Renato, how was it?
Hey everyone. Hi Frank.
Hey Renato.
Nice to see you again. So it was a really incredible experience. I'm glad that we have a lot of people here that are looking for this opportunity, because it was really amazing. And before this conversation, I was thinking about how could I add something to the conversation, like how can I help in a way to tell how it was, and how, I don't know, maybe some tips about the application, because people are really looking for that when they talked to me. And the first thing that I want to say is that this lab, from my perspective, is not focused on writing exactly. So even though we have like these mentorships, and we had a lot of them, like at least with 3 different professionals, I feel that it's more about position yourself and your project to an international environment than really developing your script. Like we have time to write between these 2 in-person moments we have, like in Mexico, now it's going to be in São Paulo and in Cannes. We have time to write, obviously, but it's not focused on that. So I think that this is an important thing to know before applying, because then you can match your expectation with what the lab is offering you. But I feel that this lab offers something that is really valuable and really important, that other labs that I had before didn't really have, is this opportunity to really connect with people that we wouldn't have a chance to meet in another situation. Like as Frank was saying, the opportunity to pitch for the people from the Critics Week and from Venice is something really unique. So this is a big opportunity, I feel. And then I learned also.
I'm sorry, we used to say that it's more or less a professionalization mentorship and networking mentorship.
Yeah.
There's some points about writing, about consultation, but really globally, it's really about how make you a professional, visible professional in the movie business area. And it's, I think, Renato, you won't tell anything else, but I think it's really the opportunity to be more visible, that the projects are really in the center of the thing, you know.
Yeah,
Renato,
totally.
can I will give back the floor to you, but as there are many questions and I really want Frank to be able to answer all of them,
Yeah,
can
sure.
we pause you for a minute and then we have
Sure.
Frank answer and then we'll go back to you. It's a very valuable testimony, but I really want to make sure that we have everyone's questions answered. So Thiago wants to know if he can submit an adaptation from a book project.
If you have the rights of the book, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So provide the contract of the
Yeah.
rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Diego wants to know if he can submit more than one project.
No, only one project. But you can submit different projects, but you will be selected only for one.
But you can submit more than one.
If you have more than one project, yes, let's submit them.
Okay, so you can submit more than one, but you will be selected with one only, of course.
Yeah, it will be separated inscription.
Applications.
Yeah.
Okay.
Applications.
Okay.
Sorry.
Danilo wants to know if you have any exclusivity clause in case he was selected with the same project in a regional lab in Brazil.
No, there's nothing like this. You can, I think it's the better to do 2 or 3 different labs. It will bring you so different things and different atmosphere and different experience. I think it's great to have many opportunities to do different labs. So no exclusivity at all.
And Duda wants to know if you can apply with some other materials than a script, like a Bible, or something that's not a script.
We don't ask for the script. We ask for treatment between 10 and 15 pages and a motivation letter. That's all.
So treatment 10 to 15 pages. Okay. Danilo wants to know if a project is a Brazilian co-production with another country like Portugal or Italy, would that count as Brazilian or would that count as a Portuguese or Italian project? It's a co-production.
I would say that it depends on the nationality of the director.
The director. So Brazilian the director has to be a Brazilian. For our fellowship, in any case, and it's important to say that, and I will take this as a segue as well, we only award a fellowship which consists in the travel expenses for a Brazilian to participate in the São Paulo workshop and the travel expenses for his participation in Cannes. That's our fellowship. It's only available for a Brazilian citizen working in or for Brazilian industry with a fiction project, and that's very important. We only work with fiction. Are there any restrictions for projects with co-writers and co-directors?
The only problem with the co-writers and co-directors that we have only one seat by project, so you will have to choose who comes to the residency.
Okay. And actually, Alec has a very similar question because it will be his first time directing. Yeah, so Alec has a project that has 2 directors and he will only register one of them. The director who will be registered has worked on short films and this will be his first time directing. He's eligible. Yes, he's eligible, right? Okay.
Yeah,
I guess maybe
right.
Alec has more experience. Maybe that's the question. But if the writer who's applying for the lab is a first-time director, then it's good. Even if the co-writer or co-director has more experience.
It can you can have directed short movies or anything perhaps in longer shape. The only thing is that you don't have to have directed some pictures released in theatrical release.
Okay.
It can be a longer shape that you directed and that was in festivals, but if it wasn't released in a country in an official theatrical release, it's okay. It's considered as your first feature.
And even if the co-director has more experience or has a feature, if the director who is applying to the program doesn't, it's fine.
If the co-director has already a feature released in his country, he is not eligible.
He's not, but the other one can apply.
It must be a first feature. So if one of the directors has already a feature released, it's not first feature.
Okay. Well, good thing. They'd like to know also what's the weight of the Abdon and Vinicius? What's the weight of the candidate's practical experience on the final decision? Do you value like the curriculum and the past experience?
On the final, so on the final step is the Zoom interview. So on a Zoom interview, we really value the meeting, the moment, and how the conversation is. And it will be Marcelo, Caetano, and me. And yeah, we have to build a group of 5 people. So Zoom meeting is a good way to imagine how it can work, how the profiles can work together. So it's like a casting, you know.
Okay. A follow-up question from our friend Thiago about the contract with the adaptation rights. It's in Portuguese. Do you need a translated version?
I think I can help you on that, right?
We only accept documents in English and French. So
yes. So answer is yes, Thiago. I'm sorry, Alice, what?
No, I was saying like maybe if it's a contract also, maybe I can help you, Frank, on it if it's a specific documents.
I think the application has to be, I understand, in
Entirely
English and French.
English,
It's better to,
it has to be in English or
Yeah.
French. Yeah.
English or
That's the
French.
rules.
Okay. And again, so this was answered. Also, a question from Ender. If the lab doesn't regard writing that much, can I apply with a project in post-production phase? Way too late, no?
It's too late, yeah.
Way too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
development
because
still phase.
Totally. We have a lot of things based on development period and on writing. So no. It can be written already, but it can't be directed.
Okay. And there has a follow-up question. Can I apply a project that isn't about LGBTQA plus, but one of the 3 main characters is a trans woman? Would that be enough?
Yeah, I think the thing is the queer point of view. I think it's the most interesting. We don't have to count the queer scenes or the queer characters. I think queer movies for me is something more from the atmosphere, from the subject, from the point of view of the director. It's not about sex scene or queer characters. I think it's more how can I say, more subtle than this.
Subtle, yes, of course. You don't have like a a note, right? A ranking system.
No, hopefully not.
I hope it doesn't even exist. So you said he's asking also, has a documentary film chances to be selected? I think the answer to that is he can be selected by the Queer Palm Lab, but he is not eligible for the Paradiso Fellowship. Okay?
Yeah, so we would have 2 Brazilian talents in this way, but why not? Yeah, no, we're really open about the documentary shot. We didn't have for the moment for the 2 first promotions, so yeah.
Okay. What are you looking for in a good project to be selected? Asks Lucas.
I think there have to be a real connection between the future director of the project and the story. I think it's really important that we feel that there's something really from inside, really intimate link between the project and the director. I think that's the kind of project that is more relevant for the Queer Palm Lab.
Okay.
Because
a question.
the interest of having a queer lab is to have queer mentors, is to be in a safe place, to be able to talk about things really intimate, because I think it's never easy to talk about what we write, about what we want to direct, about how it touch ourselves. So I think the environment is really open to do that. So to have something really safe and really to build a confident group.
And I think maybe this is a question that we can tie to this one. Julia is asking, how do you see local stories? I mean, do you go for them, very culturally or locally based stories? does that help the project or not if you think about an international audience in the end? How do you...
Really, we are really focused on singularity, and it's really interesting to have local projects. We are not Netflix. We don't want to help a global project without identity. We are really interested by local projects with discovering countries, discovering people, discovering new things. I think it's a plus if you have something really specific that you know really well and that nobody knows. I think the singularity is a good quality for a script.
Good. In terms of eligibility, it's a question we always have, and you have different answers. If the director already released a documentary feature, does that count or does not count?
That counts. It was the first movie already.
It counts as a first movie.
If it was released, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it was. Diogo wants to make something clear, and I think it's important. Will there only be one seat for a Brazilian, even if he's not eligible for the Paradiso fellowship, in the sense that if you choose a documentary filmmaker, you will have one Brazilian and he won't be eligible. It's not, you don't have the case where you would have two Brazilians because you only have 5 seats and one for a Brazilian.
Yeah, the only thing that we know is that we will have one seat for a fiction feature for Brazilian talent and one seat for French talent. The other one can be 3 Brazilian and 2 French, or 3 Brazilian, 1 English. It's really open. The projects are above nationality.
Ah, okay. All right. So then to make it very clear, you will have one seat for a Brazilian fiction feature, that's supported in part by us. You will have a French candidate and a participant, and then the 3 others can be international or and that includes Brazil in a way.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
It's totally open.
All right. So that's important because it's a bit different
and
it's good to know. Okay. Alec wants to know, are hotel, flight ticket, and food included in both the Brazilian experience and the Cannes experience?
The only difference, Projeto Paradiso take the flights, we take the housing in Cannes. We work on housing with Alice in Sao Paulo. The only thing is about food in Cannes. It's not taking. We don't take food in Cannes, but usually you have a house and you can cook and so on.
Yeah, and in São Paulo, we're gonna offer also like housing, foods, etc., etc. We're gonna have all covered, even cocktails. We're gonna have an opening party, right, Frank?
But that's a very important. So in Cannes, the food is not covered.
No, but if you're clever, you can eat easily for free everywhere in Cannes.
Get invited to parties.
Exactly.
How can one request a waiver of registration fee? Is there?
I think there's an email for contact, and you just have to ask for it.
Okay.
I think it's 20 euros. I think so.
Okay, so you can write directly to the email that's on the website. Okay. Oh la la, there's a very long question. So hold on.
Okay,
For this application, given that the project already has an initial production outline, is it worth emphasizing international co-production and networking, particularly for heavy post-production stages like VFX? For this project, feasibility needs to be tested right from development, especially through the lens of artistic innovation, or would that be considered pushing too far ahead for a development-focused call?
I didn't get the beginning of the question.
So basically, I think that what he's saying is he will work his project as an international co-production because he's interested in post-production with an international partner. Is that international enough at the development stage that you would be interested in the project?
I think at the development stage, we only think about writing, developing, perhaps co-producing, but we are not really thing about post-production at this stage, so it's a little bit anticipated. But everything is open, and one of the instances of the lab is to create connection, to find co-producers. As you may know, France is one of the most international co-producing countries. So it's really interesting to have international development and to think at the creation of the project at the first stage, to think about how you can co-produce with other countries, and how we can do not only about shooting but about post-production for the co-production. Yeah, but it's a little bit too early, I think, about this.
Okay. Julia wants to know, what are maybe the do's and the don'ts? What do you think are strengths in a project that you find in the ones you select in have in common, and maybe the don'ts, what the ones you don't select have in common?
I don't know. I'm not part of the reading committee. I try to keep a bit far from this, and just to know the project at the end, the selected projects. But I have to say that the do is be yourself and be honest with the project you want to share with the world. I think it's usually the best thing, and to be really personal. I have a memory from one of the motivation letter that cut my breath away. It was from the first year, and the young guy began his letter by Pedro Almodovar saved my life. I was in. So be honest. I think it's the best way to seduce people.
Okay. I guess Kaik wants to make sure he got it right. In the case, the project has two co-directors, and one is a first-time feature director and is the one who will apply, but the other isn't.
No.
So both have to be eligible.
It's international rules about what is a first movie and what is not, because a lot of festivals in the world only select first movie. So if one of the two directors has already did one movie, it's not a first movie.
It's not a first movie. Okay.
No.
Diego wants to know, do you accept animation films? And any tips about, any questions about genres? Are you restricted or not restricted?
Absolutely no restriction. We won't be queer if it was the opposite, no? So no restriction. It's totally open, and we are really eager to discover new shapes. Go.
Okay. And Eddie wants to know, based on Renato's comment, is it better to submit a project that's in earlier stage of development or later stage of development?
There are no rules, really. We can be seduced by a really early stage project, by third script version. So I think it's really interesting for us to mix. So there's no rule.
Very free, as it should. And Lucas, you need a treatment. You need a treatment for applications. Just answering the question.
Treatment, motivation letter, and curriculum vitae, just to know who you are. But
who you are. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was not the question. Eddie, you want to ask your question live? You can also just take the mic.
Hi. Yeah, I was wondering what stage of development the project you typically select, like based on it feels like late stage of development are more adequate.
Any stage of development, really. If you are able to write a 15-page treatment, it's okay for us. You can be at really any stage of development, because I think it's really interesting to mix people who are just beginning to write and people who already written 3 script versions. So I think it's really what makes the group move together, to have different stages and to share between the 5 talents who will be chosen.
They are in different stage of development usually.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God, that was a lot of questions.
That's cool. That's great.
Anybody else? Paula? Wait. So there's no more questions in the chat, and we might want to then give Renato another 2 minutes to tell us, to conclude his thoughts about his experience. Frank, do you have to go now? Can you stay with us another 5 minutes?
I can stay 5 minutes more, yeah.
Okay, so let's try to maybe do a last round. Renato, is there anything you want to add based on the questions we had in the chat and on your experience? And then we'll go back to Alice and Frank.
Yeah, I think that I would like to say, like, people are asking about what kind of project they are looking for. And like, in my experience, we couldn't be more different, like, from each other, not only in terms of backgrounds, but in terms of the project itself, in cinematic language. We are a very diverse group. And what connects the five of us, I feel that is this connection between what we are trying to say or trying to elaborate and give like a different perspective on queer themes. For example, one of our projects is about AIDS, but in France, but through a perspective of North African immigration. So I feel that this is like a fresh perspective on a queer theme. And I feel that that's what they are looking for and trying to understand your connection with that. So I feel that the only thing that connected the five of us is this connection that doesn't have to be like biographical, but what really makes you want to do this film. So this is something that I see that the five of us has. What else? Yeah, we are from, like, as Frank was saying, like, we have people who doesn't have like a short movie. We have people who directed a lot of short movies. I feel that they are not looking for people who are really like already established in an international environment necessarily. I feel that the Queer Palm Lab they are looking for projects that they feel the importance and they feel that the people has something to say and they want to push you to reach other possibilities, like to move forward. This is really important for me. I really feel like a genuine effort on the team of Queer Palm to be with these movies, like be together with these projects and really push them to reach I don't know, festivals in the future or meet co-productions. I don't know. It's really, it feels like a queer family that we are building through these classes, like the 2024, the 2025, and now the 2026 classes that are like being together to push these queer filmmakers to an international environment, which is very difficult to achieve. And this is a really huge push. I think that this is what I have to say about it. And try not to be generic. I think that maybe this is a tip, like in your statement, like everyone is going to say that wants to hear different perspectives, like international perspective, people from different backgrounds telling about your story. Try not to be that generic. Like really try to understand for yourself, why do you want to be part of a queer lab? Why specifically a queer lab? And go for like what specifications your project has and how this lab could help you to develop this idea or to make your achievements, like to really make it. And the more specific you are, I think that it's easier for them to connect with you and your project. So try not to write what everybody is going to write, because there's a lot of applications, and a way to stand out, it's really to be honest with yourself and with your project and with your vulnerabilities also. And as Frank was saying, this is a secure place, like a safe place where you can really express yourself. And try not to say what they are looking for. Try to be honest to your own project. Like don't make a movie because it's what you think that people want to see, and try to be honest to yourself. Like it takes a lot of years to make it from the early stage of development to an exhibition. So you really need to be inspired by it. I forgot the word in English.
I think we are looking to be surprised. We are looking for finding something we weren't supposed to find. So yeah.
So maybe for your last words, Frank, also Ander wants to know, in the end, after you interview all the shortlisted candidates, what makes you, choose between them?
It's at this point, it's really a particular feeling we can have. I remember with Charlotte Wells last year after the interviews, one of the candidates, we said, okay, his project is amazing and we feel he's ready. So it was good for us. One of the other project, the young girl, we said, okay, I want to be her friend right now. So it's a lot of different reasons that put a group together and that give you the motivation to put people together, because you want to go further in the conversation, because you want to discover more, because you feel the real link between the subject and the person you are talking with, because you feel the motivation, you feel the envy, you feel the work, and the singularity. So you feel the artist because the artist in development, the artist who's beginning to create his own world and his own vision. So it's a lot of different things. It's a global feeling we have.
Wonderful. Okay, well, this is great. Alice, you want to say one last thing before we let everyone go and wish everyone good luck?
Yes, just wishing everyone good luck and saying that Prisma Queer is very happy to bring Queer Palm Lab here to Brazil, to São Paulo, and we're gonna be here also to help you guys in anything that you need. And just also be checking Prêmio Prisma Queer, because we give a lot of awards for our Brazilian talents, with connections to a lot of other festivals. And thank you so much for Paradiso for collabing with us.
Thank you very much. Alice, maybe you want to send your contact in the chat if the people need anything. I think it'd be very useful. Thank you very much, Frank, for your time, and Renato for your testimony. And we're very happy also with this collaboration. Wish everybody good luck and hope to see you soon in October. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Obrigado.
Obrigada.
Obrigada, gente. Boa sorte. Tchau, tchau.
Obrigada.